Hi, my name is Lexi Jong and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be going over Chantecaille's fall collection for 2020. And I do have another video up from the day that I received these items with swatches if you're interested in that. So I'll leave the link down below and up above. Let's start by going over which items are in this fall collection. The pièce de résistance for this collection is the Safari Eye Trio, and this comes in a metal case. This is reusable, and then there is a metal plate kind of adhered, sorry, I know it's kind of blinding. There's a metal plate adhered to the surface of this, so it's not embedded. It's actually on top, and then you have the Chantecaille name at the bottom. You do have the pinholes in the back, so that you could remove the pans that are inside and replace them with some others if you'd like. This palette has a net weight of 7 grams or 0.25 ounces, and it is made in Italy. Inside, we do have a full-size mirror for the compact, and then we have these 3 shadows as well as an eye brush. And I did not use the eye brush. Honestly, it's a nice touch, and if I were traveling, I would definitely take this and use it. However, when I'm at home, I'm not going to use one of these. I'd rather use some of my favorite eye brushes instead. But just to show you, it is a nice brush. It's not, as dinky as what you would get on one of those little applicators, and it does have a nice handle. So I feel like it's a nice touch to have this included. The box that the palette came in matches the image on the metal plate on the packet. And what it says is an exclusive palette of 3 flattering elephant embossed eye shine shades: Solanke, burnished gold; Nanu, soft taupe; Red Earth, strong copper. The palette gives back to Space for Giants, a Kenyan nonprofit, and their Walk for Giants, a trek through one of Africa's great elephant corridors, raising funds and awareness to protect their ancient migratory landscape. If you are interested in more information on Space for Giants, I will leave the link down below in the description box to the section on the Chantecaille website that discusses a little bit more about this program. Essentially, what they are doing is trying to preserve elephant habitat, help keep them safe from poachers. They are training different people, to help care for these elephants and to help stop poaching. And they are now operating in, I believe, 9 different countries. So they are supporting 85% of the elephant population in the world. And they have actually had some really, really great successes. And, with COVID and everything going on, it's more important now than ever to help support, programs like this. And they are affiliated with, or rather they're working with government agencies and so forth to help preserve the elephants. We're going to start by swatching these 3 shades. Now, just a note, these are magnetized pans in here and they will spin. So if yours are not in the place where you want them to be, like I kind of like mine all lined up, all you have to do is kind of spin that around. These are the 3 shades. We have Nanu, the soft taupe; Red Earth, which is a strong copper; and Solanke, burnished gold. So here are the swatches. And if you are not familiar with the Chantecaille Shine eye shades, they do sell other shades in this line in these pans. So they're not going to have the elephant on them, but they are the same pan size, and you can create, they have a palette on their website called the Ma palette, and that's basically just an empty palette, and you can fill it up with shades like these from the Shine series or the Lasting series and so forth. And I do have some of these. The swatches, I tried to not really get too much of the overspray on them. And you can see that all 3 of these shades are going to have a satin finish. Right now, the Eye Trio retails for $75 and it is sold out on the Chantecaille website. I don't believe they're planning on restocking that. I'm sure they will if they can, but I haven't seen it at many retailers yet. So hopefully they will be coming out to different retailers, department stores, and so forth as well. So I don't think it's gone for good yet. I think it will be back. It is currently available on Net-a-Porter. And for Net-a-Porter, it is selling for $75, but they are throwing in a free lip veil, and this is the shade Baobab. I have it on my lips right now. I just wanted to show you, if you purchase through Net-a-Porter, what shade you'll be getting. So this is Baobab, and it's a very nice shade. You can see that it's gonna be a warm, kind of like it's a warm medium rose shade, but that warmth in there, you know, really pairs well with these other shades. So I think that was a good choice. Let's take a look at the 3 lip veils that are part of the new fall collection. And all 3 of these lip veils retail for $48. And these are still available on the Chantecaille website. And anytime you see this elephant logo on a lip veil, such as the Baobab one as well, this is telling you that they are supporting Space for Giants. So all of the items in the fall collection are supporting Space for Giants. All 3 of the lip veils for the fall collection are considered limited edition. However, the actual shades are probably going to be put into the regular blue packaging at some point. So I don't believe the shades are technically limited edition, but the packaging is. And right now you can see that the limited edition lip veils all come in matching cases to the shades. If you're not familiar with lip veil from Chantecaille, this is going to be a very lightweight lipstick. It's more of a lipstick balm hybrid, and it's just slightly thicker than a tinted lip balm. It is one of my favorite formulas. I love the way they go on the lips. You can see that they're still rather pigmented, but they're very comfortable and lightweight. All of the lip veils come in this square packaging, and they are magnetized. And so I store mine in a drawer and I just flip them so that they can be adjacent to each other. This first shade here is Plumeria. Here's Plumeria. Next up, we have Acacia. Let me just build up the ends of these so you can see that those shades a little bit better. Let me just do that for the other 2 real quick. All right, and last up here we have Tamarind. All right, so I'm not sure if you can tell, but I did build up the ends of all of these. So this one here is Baobab that comes with the Net-a-Porter set, and this is part of the permanent regular line, so you might have it already. If not, it is available. And then we have Plumeria, which is described as a soft plum. We have Acacia, which is a tawny rose. And then we have Tamarind, which is a cinnamon shade. Let's go ahead and take a look at all of these shades. At the top, we have Nanu, which is a soft taupe. Now, for me, when I think of taupe, I think of a brown-gray mix. And this really looks more of a brown shade to me, and it leans warm. It, again, has a satin finish. And then we have Red Earth, which is a coppery shade, and it's not going to be a bright orangey copper. It's definitely more of a red tone. I think that this looks more like red clay dirt, in my opinion. And then last we have Solanke, the burnished gold. This is going to be a warm gold, and I actually think there is a tint of brown in it. It's definitely not going to be a bright, vibrant gold. It's more mustardy. Baobab here we have, it's kind of like a warm reddish rosy shade, and you can definitely see that it leans red. We've got a little bit of that brick red undertone. Plumeria, which is one of the limited edition lip veils, is described as a soft plum, and I really think it's more of a rosy shade with a touch of plum in it. Acacia is described as a tawny rose, and again, I think this one has a little bit more brick red and a touch more brown in it than Baobab, but I do feel that these 2 are fairly similar to each other. And then last up, we have Tamarind, which is a cinnamon shade, and it looks like it's a soft brown, but it has red undertones, which makes it pretty wearable and distinguishes it from a 90s brown. So I think it's a very nice soft brown with rose tints to it. As I mentioned, I have Baobab on my lips right now. We're going to go ahead and do some lip swatches. So first, let me just show you Baobab up close. Now I'm going to go ahead and swatch the other shades on my lips. Starting off with Plumeria. Next up is Acacia. And next we have Tamarind. So I hope you can see with this one that it's definitely not going to be like a brown lip veil. It's a touch of brown in it, but it's definitely more rosy than you would think by saying the word cinnamon, in my opinion. First up, let's go over the eye looks that I created. So I will show those to you now. And then after that, we'll go over my thoughts on these items. I have the Hourglass eye primer on. We're going to be using the Chantecaille KZ06, and I'm going to go into the taupe. I'm going to try to avoid the overspray, and we're going to do just a flat wash of color. Just buffing this into the crease. And a little bit on the brow bone. This is the taupe shade all over my lids. Next, I'm taking the Shade and Sweep brush from Chantecaille, and I'm just going to spray it with some Evian spring water. Using the dampen brush, I'm going into Red Earth. Just going to put this on the outer half of my eye. Actually, I think I'll just cover the lid with this. This is the Red Earth. I'm going back in with the KZ06, and I'm just going to the crease. Taking the KZ08 in the gold. Just going to add a little of this to the inner corner. And under the brow. Taking the Red Earth and the KZ08, the brush is dry. Just going to smudge under the lower lash line with this. Taking the Chanel eyeliner in 959 Psyche. This is from the new fall collection. Taking the smudger brush, this is the eye blend brush from Chantecaille. I'm going into Red Earth, and I'm going to smudge this over top of the eyeliner. Wiping off this brush and then going into the taupe shade, I'm going to smudge this underneath the lower lash line, right underneath the Red Earth shade. And this is the final eye look up close. I'm going to add mascara, and I'll show you a distance shot. This is the final look from a distance. And I have on the Tamarind lip veil with this. This is the Acacia lip veil. And this is Plumeria. I have on the Hourglass eye primer. I'm starting off with the gold shade, and this is the Chantecaille KZ08. Switching to the KZ07 and still the gold. Same brush going into the copper. Same brush in the taupe shade. Taking the brush and just swiping it in the crease here a little bit. Taking the Esom S33 and just kind of blending the edges by the crease. Back with the KZ07 and just tapping, blending any of the edges between the colors. Taking the KZ08 and into the taupe shade. Just smudging under the lower lashes with this. I'm using the Chantecaille Luster Glide Silk Infused Eyeliner in the shade Earth. This is just a dark brown. Taking the Chantecaille Brightening Eye Kajal in Nude, and I'm going to put that on the waterline of the lower lashes. And this is the final eye look up close. I'm gonna finish my makeup and mascara and I'll be back. I hope that was helpful. Just a note, but with the eye looks, I have been pairing the Smitten cheek shade. That's the one with the elephant from the Philanthropy cheek shade collection. And I've actually tried other blushes with it, but I feel like this shade is kind of perfect and it goes really well with this trio. So here it is. You can see that it's definitely going to be warmer toned, and it's kind of like a peachy shade with a touch of like a soft red in there. So I think it works really well with this. I've also found that for highlighters with me for this, I really like to have more of a gold tone highlight. I've tried a few, but my favorite for this is actually the highlight from the holiday collection last year. This is the Éclat Brillant, and if you don't have this one and you have one of the new cheek duos from Chantecaille, the one with the shark on it. Actually, I misspoke. It's the one with the manta ray, the coral duo. That highlight is my second favorite one to pair with this, and you can see that it's gonna be a warm, kind of a more of an orangey gold. Another highlight that I like pairing with these, if you have the Guerlain Meteorites Pearl Dust palette, I really like the Pearly Amber shade paired with these, and that one is right here. So I think that also pairs very nicely with these. But again, my favorite is actually the Éclat Brillant, and that's what I have on today. Let's start with my thoughts on the lip veils. I love Chantecaille lip veils. I wear them all the time. They are one of my favorite lipstick formulas. I love how lightweight and easy they are to wear. I also like that they are easy enough to apply without a mirror. They're very hydrating on my lips, and I just find them very comfortable and pleasant to use. So I love lip veils, and all three of these are no exception. I wasn't sure how much I liked the colors because I felt like the swatches I was seeing prior to when I placed my order, they were really hard to really see the nuances in the shades, and everything looked a bit more brown than they do to me here. And you can see they all have rosy undertones. So I think they actually all work very well. So for the lip veils, for me, they are all a win. I'm very happy to have them. Now, the eye trio. I like the eye trio as well. So I love this packaging, and at some point I probably will take these pans out and replace them with some other items. As for the actual shadows, I've tried all of Chantecaille's different eyeshadow formulas, and the Shine and Lasting series, they're probably my least favorite Chantecaille formula. So I like them, but I don't love them. As you can see, they do have a gorgeous satin finish to them, and I love the way that looks. I love how that turns out. The only thing that I find with this formula is that the colors are always very light, and you kind of have to pack them on to get them to show up a bit. So I think you could see from the eye looks that I did that I've really kind of had to go over the colors to get them to truly show up. And with these shadows, I would definitely recommend using a primer. I've used these shadows with and without a primer, and I've also used them wet and dry. And Honestly, the wet and dry does not make a huge difference. So it really doesn't do anything. Longevity wise for these shadows, they last all day on me without creasing, with or without the primer. So they definitely last very well. My only issue with the shadows is that they are very light, and it's not necessarily that the shade, we can see that the shades are soft colors, you know, they're not going to be overly pigmented, but it's more the fact that I have to kind of go over it to get that color on my eyes. And the one shade that I had the biggest issue with is the Red Earth. This one, you know, I've tried using it just all over my lid, and I just have to really pack that one on and go over it a lot for it to show up. And when it shows up, it actually looks more brown. You don't really see as much of this red tone. When you put the red next to the gold, it really does bring out the red tones in there. But if you just put the Red Earth all over your lid and leave it as a one and done, it really looks more brown, like a warm brown, than any sort of that red clay color. And I think that's my biggest issue with the trio. So I like the shadows. I would definitely repurchase them again, but I don't love them. I prefer their other formulas personally. Now, as for the shades, the soft taupe, I was hoping it would have a little bit more gray in it. It's more of a warm brown. All three of these shades are nice. They are all very warm toned. And in general, you know, I can definitely use this Nanu soft taupe shade as like a one and done shadow. These other two, you know, as I mentioned, the Red Earth is a little bit light, so it's hard to pack on, but you can do it as a one and done. The gold for me does not look good on me as a one and done, but if you have a warmer skin tone, I think that could be very nice. I really like to use eyeshadows as eyeliners a lot, especially when the eyeshadows are softer shades like these. And unfortunately, none of these really work as an eyeliner. So that's not an issue per se, but it's just something to note. Even getting the shadows wet, they're not going to be more pigmented. They're not going to be darker. So I would definitely recommend using a separate eyeliner for these. And I personally like to pair them with a brown eyeliner. There are a few eyeliners that I would recommend to use with these trios. And the first one, the one I like the most with these, is actually the Chantecaille Luster Glide Silk Infused Eyeliner in Earth. And this is just a brown shade. So here, I'll swatch that on my hand for you. So that's Earth. You can see that it's a matte brown. If you're looking for something that's not brown, I love the Olive Brocade shade, also from Chantecaille. And this one is more of that khaki green, but it has some gold glitter in there, and I think that also adds like a nice touch that's a little different. This is actually my favorite eyeliner of all, so but I do think it pairs nicely with this if you're looking for a slightly different look. The other ones that I like are actually from Chanel. This is the Cielo Ombre Contour in number 34, Contour Brun. And I don't know if this one's still available. I think it was a limited edition shade, but they have other browns, and I personally like the formula. You can see that this and Earth are very similar. This is just gonna be slightly deeper, and it's a nice smudgy eyeliner. So. And then another one that goes very well is actually the new one from the Chanel Fall Collection. This is number 959 in Psyche. So this is the darker one that came out. And this one it's definitely more burgundy, more of a deep wine shade in there. And I think pairing this with the Red Earth looks really nice. If you put this one on and you think the color ends up being too intense, smudge it out a little bit, add some of either the taupe shade or the Red Earth shade on top, and it'll kind of dilute it a little bit, but you'll still have that depth and dimension from it. I think it looks really nice. Overall, I really like this collection from Chantecaille for fall 2020. I love supporting Space for Giants. I think the packaging on this eye trio is fantastic. I love how it is reusable. It's definitely something that I will keep forever. And I love the embossing on the elephants. They do have overspray on top here, so that color will not go through. I haven't taken it off because I wanted to make sure that you were able to see it in this video. But you know, the shades themselves, you know, although the colors are okay, I wish they were, I personally would have made a couple changes, but I think the formula is only okay, and that's what makes the palette for me a like and not a love. Now, again, as I mentioned before, performance-wise, they last all day. They are just those shadows that kind of need to be built up. And for some people, they might really like that, because I do know people who really like this formula from Chantecaille. It's just not one of my personal favorites. And I am a little disappointed with the Red Earth shade and how much I have to build that up to truly be able to see it. For the lip veils, I really like all of them. I love the formula on the lip veils, and these colors did pleasantly surprise me. I love the rosy undertones in them, and I think, you know, even though you've got some slightly browner shades, they're not gonna be like that brown. They're not brown. So they definitely have some depth to them, and I think those rosy undertones on there really help make them a bit more wearable, make them more of an updated version from what was popular in the 90s. And again, right now I have tamarind on my lips, and to me, it doesn't look brown. It looks more of a soft rosy shade with some brown in it. And I think that's what's important about these shades and what makes them so much more wearable. I hope this review was helpful, and if you've already picked up these items and you've been playing around with them, I would love to know what your thoughts are on these, specifically on the eye trios. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell. We do have online schooling starting today, so I'm not sure if my uploading schedule will end up changing. So hit that notification bell if you haven't already, so you will get a notice when I do have a new video for you. And thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day. Stay safe and healthy.